Hello there, how are you? I've already prepped my face with the Barbus shaving oil right there. Very nice. It has a nice little scent to it, kind of a sweet, pleasant scent that comes with this. Let's see, my razor, let me grab the box for this razor. My razor is going to be, I'll put it nicely, an inexpensive Chinese razor that I got 2 or 3 years ago off of eBay. I think it was eBay or Amazon, one of those. It came in this box. It's a 3-piece closed comb. It's called the Smooth Edge razor. I've used it from time to time and even on this channel before. Okay, in there, I don't have the tuck with me right now, but in there is going to be a feather, a high stainless blade on its first use. I'll get the tuck in a minute and show that to you. My soap is going to be this. This is new to me, the Figaro red. The soap is actually white, kind of a regular soapy soap. And I had the one that comes in the gold tub. That's got oud, O-U-D or O-U-D-H, depending on what spelling you use and what country, but this I've been looking for a while, and I finally found a vendor online that had it, and it's not too expensive. I've already lathered my brush, which is going to be this KC Shave Company Silvertip Badger brush. I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to grab a couple of things, that tuck and a hat to cover up this bald head, I believe. I'll be right back. Okay, here's the hat, and here's the tuck that's the tuck that 10 of these feather high stainless come in. If you get one that only has 5, it'll be a black and white label on there. Just a little card, as you can see, that comes out in front of the blades. It's a plastic tuck or package or whatever you call it. So let me go ahead and try to wet this brush a little bit and get lathered. I'll just dip the tips, get those wet again. I hope this is still enough on here to lather with. I'll let that set for a while, so it might have dried out a little bit. Of course, I don't like my lathers too wet where I'm flinging water everywhere. I hope you're all doing well out there, by the way. I hope the week and your weekend is going good. I'm either a day late or a day early doing my video, depending on how you look at it. I was doing videos on Monday night going into Tuesday morning, and now it's Sunday. I was also doing videos Saturday night going into Sunday morning, but it's kind of late Sunday afternoon here right now. Let me wet the razor here. This is a mild razor overall, so that's why I put a very sharp blade in it. Let's see how this works. Pass one with the grain. And about 2.5 days worth of growth here. I've been kind of at the bottom of my personality. I haven't shaved. And when I did, it was with a cartridge razor. That was a couple of days ago. The Defender razor, which for a cartridge razor I think is better than your average. Well, the blades are better than the average cartridge blade because there's more of a blade gap between the 3 blades on the thing, so it's easier to rinse when you're doing this kind of traditional shaving. So if you're using a can of goo in a can, especially if it's not the gel or something, cartridge and disposables are easier to rinse the gunk out of, in my opinion, if you're using the goo in a can, especially just the regular stuff. I know I've shown this before, but if you're using something cheap like that, the cartridges and disposables, all of them are easier to rinse, I think. And I'm going to rinse this razor and I'll be right back. I don't even know if this razor is available anymore, but pretty heavy handle. I hate to try to show where the midpoint is, the balance point, but there it is. I'm a little shaky, but balance point on this razor is about there. Very little overhang, although there is just a little bit to be aware of. Heavy handle. And being that it's a mild razor, this feather blade is working pretty well, I think. Until recently, I hadn't used a feather blade in a long time. But for me, they sure work well in these milder razors, milder aggression razors. And perhaps I should be careful because, in my experience, this was just a little bit closer to medium aggression than some of the milder razors I have. Still pretty mild. I think most gentlemen would find this to be a mild razor. And ladies as well. Okay, time to rinse again. Pretty easy to rinse, no gunk so far in this. And this Figaro soap, this is from Italy, and it has a nice scent to it. I think I used the gold tub once on this channel. I may use it again sometime in the not terribly distant future. If nothing else, I'll use it in one of my off-camera shaves and see how I still like it. Very nice so far here. Hope I have everything in here that I need for the rest of the shave. Sometimes I forget things. Okay, that's pass one over and done with. Excuse me. I'll come back and then we'll do that second pass across the grain. Okay, pass number 2 across the grain here. Here we go. I guess it's a shame I don't have a history lesson or something for today. I ought to buy more books on history, especially local history, places I've lived before. Because for me, it all starts there and then kind of expands outward to the nation and then the world at large, I guess. Somebody told me once that there's an old saying that all history is local history. Well, I guess so. It's local to some place, isn't it? I hope this shave stays as nice as it is for me so far. It's the blade is mowing down the stubble pretty well, and it's smooth. It seems efficient enough, and well, it's just comfortable. And so far, knock on wood, there's no weepers. So excuse me. Okay. I hope I get a BBS shave, but I'm not really going to chase it too far. Too easy for me to get irritated, especially when I go out a little bit in the sun in this warm weather we're having. Still fairly cool here overnight and in the morning. There was one morning I was almost tempted to dig out my parka again. I have a lot of shaving buddies from over in Italy there, because I've been using a lot of Italian products just because I happen to like them. And I guess Prorazzo, which is a nice set of products, that got me started, and then I got curious about other Italian products and even some French products. And like I've said before, it's nice to be friends with those guys because I don't speak the language. And if they're saying something bad about me, which I don't think they are, but if they are, I wouldn't know it. And more importantly, I don't understand Italian politics, so I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Whereas I might with American politics, you see. Go down some kind of uncomfortable rabbit hole, defending one side or the other. Pretty crazy, really. I once asked a guy, a fellow comedian, but this guy was actually a working comedian, traveling, touring the nation and all that. I asked him if he was a Democrat or Republican, and he said, "Oh, I don't join cults." Probably a philosophy I should take to heart. Okay, that's our second pass across the grain. I'll come back and we'll do a third pass against the grain. Okay, we'll go against the grain now. All right, I'll start on my neck this time. I was fortunate enough to have a really nice, brief conversation on Messenger with Mrs. H, the Great One's wife, don't you know? She's a very nice person, so is Paul. I don't think I could ever hate Paul for more than a couple of seconds. I think there's been a couple of times I started to get jealous of his success, and I literally could only be like mad or jealous for a couple of seconds, and I was like, wait a minute, that's the Great One. We can't, and I'm not saying this sarcastically. I mean, he and his wife are just very, very nice people, and very enthusiastic about the hobby here and very helpful. I'm no angel, but I might canonize those two for sainthood. Of course, I don't want to embarrass them by saying they're saints. I guess none of us really are. But they're awfully nice people, excuse me. Some people wouldn't buy this soap probably because it's kind of like a cheap version of Cella. And I forget what that stuff is. It kind of smells like cherries in a way. Oh, amaretto. I forget what it is that they put in that soap. My brain isn't working right now. I guess it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember it. There's a little lesson for everybody. If anyone's interested, there is a thing in psychology. It's called the TOT syndrome, T-O-T, all capital letters. It stands for tip of tongue. When something is on the tip of your tongue and you just can't quite remember it. That's happens to a lot of people, and it's well known in psychology because it is so common. It's not a sign of mental illness necessarily, or even dementia or whatever, but it's a sign of it just means you're human. And although this soap, I don't think it performs as well as Cella necessarily, but you get your money's worth. Probably postage was the most I paid for this. I think otherwise it's like $7 a tub or something. I think I got the gold tub with no postage added or included somehow. It was only $7, but that was 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, excuse me. And I haven't been back to the tub with the brush, so as the shaving goes, I can see that the lather on this pass and maybe on the last one is not as thick. But I seem to be getting adequate protection and slickness, especially for this razor and blade combo. Okay. I do got to be a little careful above my lip here, because if I'm going to get weepers, that'll probably be the main place I'll get them. Especially going against the grain like this. I'm already starting to feel some irritation there, so I'm going to stop. I'll come back for pickups, and then we'll do pickups. Okay, well, a crazy clock there tells us that it's pickup time, ladies and gentlemen, also known as touch-ups, but we'll call it pickups, pickup time, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see, I've already lathered more or less on my neck. Still smooth, still nice. Might have trouble, as is usual, with these trouble spots. I don't know, that's coming pretty good right there, pretty smooth. Not long to go on this shave. I hope it turns out okay. It feels really nice right now. I guess it shows you what can be done with an inexpensive razor and a decent blade. I don't really want to get into it, but I think one time, in fact it was the last time I used this, I noticed some blade alignment issues on this cheap razor, but I never noticed them before, and I had even looked for them. But regardless, just like another razor I have that almost always has blade alignment issues, and I don't use it that often, but I almost always get a good shave with that razor. So I'll wet the razor one more time and just do a bit more touch-ups. I'll rinse the razor, I should say, and wet it at the same time. Wow. I don't know. I feel like I could stand here and do this for a few more moments. I don't want to get, yeah, see, and that could have already been there, or I may have just gotten that right there. That's a sign, stop. But, you know, this is your higher end DFS shave. It's very close to BBS, and with a cheap razor and pretty good, pretty sharp blade here. So, okay, well, it's time for me to stop. I'm going to rinse the razor, the brush, my face. I'll come back with our good friend Mr. Towel, and we'll go from there. Okay, let's say hello to our good friend Mr. Towel here. I forgot to rinse the brush and the razor, but I guess it don't matter at this point. Let's hope so. Okay, well, did that, so now I will do a brief recap and put the finishing touches on the shave here. Beforehand, off camera, I prepped my face with a very nice Barbus shaving oil. It comes in that blue and orange kind of label, wrapping, whatever there, with the orange cap. My razor has been this. I'll show you the box again. I'll reach back over here. The box that it came in, oops, that's upside down. The smooth edge razor, 3-piece from China, very inexpensive. I don't even know if they make this anymore. And if they don't, you're not missing out on much. But combined with this nice feather high stainless blade on its first use, very nice shave here. Okay, my brush has been, and I haven't rinsed this yet as you can tell, but the KC Shave Company Silvertip Badger brush. That's real nice. And my soap, the Figaro Crema de Barbus shaving cream. Well, it says shaving cream, so it's a cream, okay. Shaving cream in a red tub there. And, okay, I hope I haven't forgotten anything. I'm going to reach for the Equate Walmart store brand witch hazel and put on some of that. Okay, shake that up a little bit and pour a little in my hand here. Try not to spill that. Get that going. Whoa, I kind of overdid it on that. Some sting, but not too bad yet. I'm just putting on the witch hazel astringent, which is 14% alcohol by volume. And the rest of it's supposed to be witch hazel and water. Wipe my hands off here a little bit. Now I'll reach over here for something I really like and haven't used in a minute, but the Pinaud Clubman Special Reserve. I really, really like this stuff. I have a friend, an old chum from my school days that doesn't like this stuff. He likes the classic, but I really love this stuff. So, let's see. Oh yeah, a little on the temples, behind the ears. I hope I got enough here. A little on the wrists, back of the neck too. No sting, although this stuff does have alcohol in it, I'm pretty sure, but it's as if the witch hazel took all the sting out of my face. So that is really nice, and then I'll put the cap back on that. Guess I'll show you that again, although I'm sure you've seen it online. And then I'll finish with the tried and true, the old trusty Nivea Men Original Post-Shave Balm. It looks like I'm doing good on time here. I'll edit the fat out of this video, but doing all right on time. I try to get these in under half an hour. So. Okay, that's it. I gotta go. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your help and support, and even your good advice, and just a lot of things. Thank you for being my friend. Peace out.